Hello and welcome back to Esoteric Ebb. We aren't getting any new session note updates, obviously, but we are filling out our backgrounds. This time we have Viskin. So, yeah, we've already seen that one. But, yeah, we are meeting a lot of the people that we've been missing, such as Weird Snail Thing. Behold, Isk-Urim, Cord Puller. Hey, we got an 18. Level 16 Wizard. This ancient snail from another time. An interesting fellow and incredible knowledge, but held within a culture of beasts of Jor, complete barbarians. Fascinating. You must in any case study this creature. The esoteric mastery at play here is beyond anything you've ever encountered. Keep in contact with this snail will be of great service in the future. Okay. Hello. The snail lifts his head. Floop? Well, obviously I'm going to shake my head and gesture towards my ears. In it, forsta no comprendo. Cat speech, really? So this is what the Tulan cattle look like. Yalu. The snail holds up his open hand, 4 fingers stretch out. Then he twists them with a snap. There we go, that should be better. I always keep a tongue prepared for this specific situation. Nothing as awkward as dealing with foreign dignitaries when you run out of Jorish slots. I am Isk-Urim, cord puller of the Tulan Empire, master of the path, servant of Jor, lord researcher and diplomat of peace. He lowers his soft head all the way to the ground. I am the Cleric. By Jor, do not worry, Mr. Ragan Cleric. Wait. This isn't what I said. What? I didn't say I was Ragan Cleric. Also, I did not in any way mention him being poisonous, but that's fine. I am not poisonous, nor do I hold any ill wishes. Beware, he is reading your mind. Yeah, that's what I was getting. Apologies, I cannot help it. The snail is inside you. That's not the kind of phrasing I'd use, but yes. He could hear my stats. Oh no. Snail squints and stares at you both. Hold on, is this some kind of wizard thing? Green one, you do not appear to be as loud on the strings as your iron friend here. The snail leans on his staff. I cannot help but hear everything you think, Cleric. It was Cleric, was it not? It is. And greetings, Tulan. Ah, Celestial, grand. You spirits sure do come in all shapes and sizes. What a fascinating meeting we have here. Now The snailman looks around, leaning on his staff. My mind seems to have slipped a bit. You couldn't care for some exposition. What's the last thing you remember? His eyes retract, close to the base as he mutters. Oh no. I was on trial. For what? I doomed us all to the flames of Isuth. It was entirely my fault. What did you do? I made a deal with the Red One, he mutters to himself, trying to remember. It is difficult to read his body language for obvious reasons. Isuth, the great dragon of Tulam, our band. I was the diplomat who enacted the plan of peace. We invited the dragon for an exchange of knowledge. Truth is, I was greedy. I wanted those strange draconic techniques. The power words. Dragons use magic through speech alone. The spells you cast are derived from those same methods. I was not alone in my hubris, nor did I set this plan in motion myself. But it was me who put it in motion. Okay. Since this snail reads my mind, why do I even bother making a choice of what to say? He's listening to this right now, isn't he? Blah, 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 blah. Think strange noises. Please stop. Sorry, go on. The snailman looks pointedly around the room. Or at least you think he does. It's more of a gurgling sound. I am personally responsible for the deaths of approximately 50,000 to 100,000 of my kin. Oh, I'll stare at him. The destruction of the Tulan cattle. Yes, that is what it was. Isuth went back in his word. He used his unorthodox magic to disrupt our many, many mages. Then he burned the entire city. The towers fell, the screams, the heat. So, like, the thing that ruined all the basis of Norvik, yes. The goblin also stares at the snail man. How did you survive? Oh, the same way the rest did. We were, as they say, lucky. We were not close enough to his anti-magic, and I could resist his stunning shriek. We fled downwards, as Isuth claimed our city, as his new throne. We fled even deeper. A few thousand of us, the ones who remained, we hidden. He taps his staff onto the tiles. This place, it is where we kept our foulest prisoners. It became a base in which we organized resistance. Although some were not so keen to work with someone like me, a traitor. How long were you down here? Months. It did not take long for a divide to build. What did you do here? Debate, mostly. One camp were for leaving entirely, another wanted to turn to Jor for guidance. I ended up wanting to leave with my wonderful Tut. Tut. Yeah. Tut? He shakes his head. Sorry, no, the voice who won in the end, they saw some more permanent solution to the dragonfire. Through primal pagan magic. I did not believe in that for a second. Imprisoned you for inviting the dragon? That, among other things. But I was never the most liked snail on the coast. But they wanted an offering, someone to pin blame. He grows silent, his eyes shiver. This poor snail, he knows what he must face now. Failure. I believe you've been imprisoned here for a very long time. How long? His eyes retract as if he does not want an answer to his question. When were you imprisoned? I'm assuming an era of dragons occurred after our reign. However, we ruled in the aftermath of the shutting of the gates. It had been 211 years since then, the year when our city burned. During the Fade era then, not very long after the gates had shut. That is exactly 1,016 years ago. He grips his staff, you can hear it creak. Millennia! I was in stasis for millennia! Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, he was saying yes to it being his punishment. We should read all the things when we speak to him because he can hear us considering all the things. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Good gods. His eyes shoot out, aiming around the room. He is alone. His entire folk type has been wiped from the map before humans even held their own kingdoms. But he's going to hear us thinking that. I am alone. There is no one, is there? He shakes his staff and his stalk eyes wriggle around in the air. A faint glow appears as he mutters a few words to himself. I see snails, but... Yes, but... Scrying. We have a ton of snails in Norvik, but only hail snails. And we're also asking is he scrying, and we're being quiet. No! No, no, no. This is what you made of yourselves? He stops casting the spell, his head falling towards the ground. Gurama, you fool! You led them into this primal state? Degenerative, frozen, monstrous beasts. Hail snails. Yeah, we've got those all over Ascani. He lets out a mad laugh. They wanted to use the primal cold to break the dragon's fire. That bastard, he led them into a pure devolution. This is a nightmare. Oh, by Jor's grace. Tell me, how did you break the stasis I was in? Your angel companion steps in. Her last thought was of you, Iskurum. Think it. You Cleric. Imagine it in your head now, please. I'll think about my talk at the Iron Door. Toot Irma, she was in an iron door. They threw her in an iron door for millennia? His eyes droop down towards the ground. I cannot believe it. My actions caused. I ruined my people. I brought flames. I divided them.
Yes, in the end, I did not even pay for my crimes with my life. Instead, I pay by standing here, alone among the ashes. Iskani. And Toot, she endured the most torturous existence known to sentience, her soul slowly withering inside of that hellish prison. Yet after all that, in the end she...
Like Ketir said, her last thoughts were only of you. He lets out a grunt, then a painful howl. He roars, a deep, bubbling scream causing his glistening flesh to vibrate, and stare at the snail. When he stops, he takes his staff and slams it into the ground.
I reject this string. Jor's words do not speak of a humble nature. He broke off this world to make his own path. I will do exactly the same.
Snail's going mad. Fair, really. I'm gonna say, what are you talking about? He lets out a gust of wind.
I can fix this.
What? Yeah, what? Fix what?
My dear Toot was destroyed by an iron prison that leaves her soul in pieces, not quite dead, not quite in existence. But I am a cord puller Iskurum. I am cord puller Iskurum. I wield strings like Jor himself. From this day on, I no longer seek power, nor achieve greatness, nor will I build empires. I will only perform one miracle. I will resurrect her. Then I will pay her back 1,000-fold for her unyielding love and devotion.
Yes, the Celestial clenches her fists. Pay your debt, Tulin, to her.
With everything I have.
What kind of resurrection?
True resurrection. Not easy, especially when the strings are this weak.
An ebb, surely. Some kind of esoteric ebb, I believe. What, can you tell me more about...
Yes, anything you need. I'm in your debt as well, of course.
He mutters to himself and leans on his staff.
I now have a time limit, Cleric. In 200 years, the fragments of my wife's soul will leave this place forever. Thus, I can no longer resurrect her. And it will take time, but it can be done. Anything can be done.
Fuck yeah. Need anything, just let me know.
Thank you, my green friend.
That is very romantic, Iskurum. I wish you luck on your venture.
Thank you, Celestial. It's funny, last time I saw one of your kind, it was on the battlefield. I prefer this.
As do I. Ooh, many things. Do you have any spell scrolls I can have?
Oh, only a dozen or so. They're deep in my shell. Any you're interested in? I can dig in and get one for you.
He retracts one of his arms into his shell. Ooh. None of these, actually. No, I'm not interested in any of these right now. Anything else? The snailman stares at you for a few seconds.
No, you seem to have thought of all I'm able to hand you except...
Except what? Isk shrugs while slowly retracting his entire head slowly. What are you doing? Soon the snail is no more and you are standing in front of a shell. That's convenient. Then, as slowly as he retracts, he begins to leave the shell.
I went over the esoteric attunements from your mind, Cleric. It appears the only spell scroll you do not actively think about here, that you also do not already have memorized, would be this.
He hands you a spell scroll. Scroll of Wish? Oh, wow. By Jor and his disciples, what are you holding in your hands? Wish? I'm sorry, what?
Iskurum, that is a very dangerous item.
That's not like the wish, is it?
That is wish. However, you cannot memorize it at your current level of attunement. Attempting to cast it directly would also take, even at your level of talent, weeks, maybe months.
But this is wish. I could just wish for anything?
Wish is one of the few non-epic tier spells that can wildly shape reality. It is arguably the most powerful and versatile of all the 9th level spells. It is so powerful, in fact, that it can easily cripple anyone who does manage to cast it. The only true safe usage of Wish is to use its power to ask for another cast or for casting of another spell, 8th level or lower. You could also ask for a weaker effect, which have been proven to be safe at times, but if you word your wish poorly and the effect is broader than you intended, you are, as they say, screwed. So you're saying I could wish for anything? The snailman lets out a blubbering sigh. I received the spell scroll from a djinn I fought alongside during the war. It was a reminder to stay humble. For those who use it for personal gain, use it as a shortcut to greatness. Use it as a shortcut to greatness. All it was end up in ashes. I did not always listen to such ideals, but when it came to that spell, I have respect for it. One of my teachers, the great Rit Ios, used its power to shatter the hearts and souls of 100 ice devils. In the process, her entire being turned into a permanent esoteric pocket. I am giving you the spell scroll not to use, Cleric, but as a reminder of your mortality. Mortality is not where I end. He makes a peculiar mouth movement. I like your fire, it burns bright. Anything else? Scroll of astral projection? You have particular tastes. That is not a spell you are even able to cast, not without great unreliability. Does that a no? Of course not. Enjoy. He hands you the tingling paper with a casual nod and the intense power rushing through your arm as you grab it. We'll tear a hole in you. Grasp it with your life. Considering the state of the world, it would not have the intended effect even if you did know how to cast it. It's so it's useless to me anyhow. But I suggest studying it. Detect secrets? Of course. Oh, and I just have that one. That one is very useful. What about protection from evil and good? That's a classic. It is indeed. Sadly, I do not have many divine spell scrolls, so that's a no, I'm afraid. Aura of Vitality? I used to have that one written down. That's an oldie, and I was never too good at it myself, but it saved my life a number of times. I'm good. Okay. Are all snail folk wizards? Oh no, many. But many, yes. The Tulin are naturally, acclimated to string manipulation. It's a gift we were granted by Jor as we arrived on the Great Whale's back. What spell levels can you cast? 9th by regular limits. I had the ability to wield a 10th level spell at one point, although it was of course a weak 10th level spell. I called it Isk-Urum's Epic Traversal. It basically targeted a road up to 100 miles of it, repairing any cracks, making the journey smooth and wonderful, and generally increasing your movement speed by up to double. Useful, not more than that. Not exactly epic. Useful, yes. As you could imagine, we kept to the more grounded magics for anything above 9th. The actual world-changing spells would simply get you popped out of existence. Popped out of existence? Yes, I named it Esoteric Events. You named it. Oh. They apparently began during the Gate War, but grew worse during my lifetime. Irresponsible uses of magic could easily cause them to appear. Some called it wild magic, some called it Jor's Curse. Your name stuck. We still call it that. Oh, do you now? I suppose the tongue spell translated it properly then. Can you teach me your 10th level spell? No, I'm afraid those epic tier spells are not the stuff you can share, at least I do not know how. 9th level spell? What can you cast? Nothing currently. When I was cast into stasis, Gurama made sure to place an Ebbing seal on me. That is a curse essentially, makes me unable to cast anything above, in this case, 3rd level spells. Wait a second. Do you think we have this curse on us? Because we're unable to cast anything above 3rd level spells? So currently I'm not so powerful at all, but do not fret, it will fade in time, hopefully as the ley lines grow stronger all around this ebb. I'm a wizard too. Are you now? Good to hear. It does make sense, someone with a head so attuned to the string is usually either dipped in Soul River at birth or a powerful mage of some type, or a crazy person. Maybe I'm all three. Wonderful! I was hoping this era of yours was acclimated for magic use as well, despite the past. That's all I have to ask about wizards for now. I can see that. How wonderful to share. Okay.
Can you teach me magic? Oh, teaching, that is not my specialty. If you have any questions, I can always share my knowledge, but beyond that, I'm afraid I can only offer some spell scrolls. What does ebb mean? His eyes dart around. You want a definition? It's just I've heard the word a lot, but I don't think I completely understand it. His eyes jitter a bit. Ebb is defined as an effect of anti-magic. Oh. It is when the flow of magic is ebbed, lowered, ceased. It is a word I do not like for many reasons. For one, it was a tool used by our enemies in the Gate War. To sink Jor's realm, they wished to quell his strings. Then, of course, was the dragon Isuth. His betrayal began by the casting of a horrid and terribly effective spell, Power Word Ebb. Ooh, what does it do? Power Word Ebb puts a clamp on Jorah's strings in a large area, I believe up to 1,000 feet, becoming void of high-tier magics and low-tier magic becomes unstable. Yet it is no simple anti-magic field. It is not an area of suppression of magic. It is a literal editing of the strings themselves. It cuts off flow to the strings, flow from the past and future, a ripple of non-magic through time. I will be honest, I have no clue what the exact parameters of casting such a spell would be, nor what the long-term effects are. Ooh, are we thinking that maybe this Power Word Ebb is what is causing the current Esoteric Ebb? Huh, interesting. So we might have a curse that this snail has, and the dragon which casts Power Word Ebb may be related to the ebb stuff in general. But it does sound to me like your era has been affected by some terrible ebbings, for your strings seem to me as if they are indeed clamped and clutched, as if struggling to breathe. You think the ebb caused the weakening of the Arcanists at the end of the Coast War? Yeah, let's say that one first. That is a lot of questions. I'll say possibly, probably, not really, and strings are drawn from one point to another in time, Cleric. They go through time. This is of course only a theory of mine when it comes to esoteric effects, pockets, events, and so on, but what makes an esoteric ebb so powerful is the sheer time frame of it. The consequences can be unfelt for centuries. That is what makes Jor's esoteric magic so powerful, so dangerous. No sane being can calculate beyond the third dimension. Not at least beyond some abstract, impractical sense. We are not made for it. But that doesn't stop me from researching it, or at least until Isuth did. Okay, what do you know about Jor's strings? I am a little, weirded out by this conversation, because sometimes you can have, multiple questions like this, where you go through them one at a time, and sometimes he's like, I'm going to answer them all at once, and it's like, okay, I'm not sure which one's which, but anyway. What do you know about Jor's strings? He holds out a hand and casts Prestidigitation. When Jorah crafted the coast, he did not make it from scratch. Dazzling lights spawn out of his palm, forming a collection of gleaming lights. Stars! He based his design on others, the landscape, the water, the wind, the biome, as well as the magic. In most other realms, from what our history teaches us, ley lines, as in the thing we channel magic from, is usually formed as a web, a network, a weaving, a series of nodes connected. This design was fundamental and solid. It connected so many material realms to the outer ones. As in, they were not just one, a solid world of mortals on one side, the worlds with all the angels and demons and non-mortals on the other, a magic web interconnecting them. Most Anticipalians will tell you the same thing. The world of mortals and non-mortals were separated beyond Jor's realms. Right, before the gates were closed, we were separated. He nods. Jor did something different. He created the strings. Instead of having a series of nodes with connections between them, his ley lines were simply just nodes. They contain a sort of esoteric vector, intensity, delta, rush, tone, some call it colors, various difficult to parse parameters. Instead of being interconnected, they simply bump into one another. Physically, that is how they interact, to put it in a simple metaphor. However, Jor did something ingenious here. He took the design of those interconnected webs and repurposed them, not to connect to one another, but to connect with themselves, over time itself, connected from the past through the present to the future, a straight line, a chord, a string. Remember, he's reading your mind. Every option you think of will be presented to him all at once. Okay. What difference does it make in comparison to the web design? Why did Jor make the strings in such a way? Do you think the Arcanist grew powerful due to figuring out Jor's secret? Or there's a magic capable of flowing backwards through time? Let's say that one. Is there magic capable of flowing backwards through time? Oh, okay, that's a lot to take in at once. This mind reading makes conversation highly efficient. And boring. I'll take your questions one by one if that's okay. Starting off, compared to the original web design, which I sadly have not been able to investigate myself, I am basing all my findings off data retrieved from my forebearers. There seems to be almost no real difference, on the surface level. Channeling magic from a practical art works fundamentally the same, drawing powers from the network using verbal, somatic, and components to steer this power in a certain direction. Okay. So, we previously had the implication, because Japanese people exist in this world, specifically as Japanese people, that there were other worlds connected to this world. He is telling us that there is verbal somatic components things, and we know that all of these spells are very similar to D&D, right, in terms of their requirements. So the implication is, not only is it connecting to the real world, but it's also connecting to tabletop worlds of some kind. Now obviously this is not a D&D game, so things are a little vague. But essentially, what we're getting at is that all of these worlds were connecting into this world. But usually, mythical and kind of magical stuff is separated from normal mortal human type things. And because of how the strings are all connected, it's actually changed it so that magic is in a real world. Okay. However, this change, making the network into strings, changed how that magic flows. Instead of being focused on that one point in time, it constantly connected to the past and present. Part of that power is leaked in each direction. Now, this does happen in some degree in a normal web-based node system as well. That's how divination magic works. But instead of it happening in a natural way, just like we remember where we were a second ago, so does magic. Just like we can extrapolate on our current information in order to reach conclusions about the future, so does magic. The strings instead are directly connected. It would be as if we constantly saw ourselves in the past alongside our present, with glimpses of the future. Like a constant, permanent form of divination magic. It's quite difficult to imagine. To answer your second question, I do not know why Jor made the strings this way. There are theories. Could he have done it to perform some type of chronomancy? Perhaps it was simply an experiment. My personal belief is simply that Jor found it efficient. By leaking esoteric energies into the past and the future, it would make sense that we were able to build much more potent acceleration in our spells. How this works in practice, none can tell, not since the gates closed. As to your third question, yes, it sounds as if your Arcanist did uncover many of the same mysteries we worked on. However, it does sound as if Jor abandoned them in a way not too dissimilar to our own. Finally, your fourth question. Chronomancy is a topic many wizards dream of as they study. I must disappoint you, there are no ways beyond divination, those little peeks behind the curtain to tamper with time. As the strings move forward, Jor watches us go along them. That is one of the messages we received from him all those years ago. He is watching. This is our one chance to make our choices, so make them well. But we think that Jor is dead. You are beyond. The rules do not apply. Interesting. Well, if you find yourself beyond, do let me know. I'd love to investigate. Well, actually, that's where we're going to go as well. How did I learn high-tier magic? Or how do I learn high-tier magic? Time and effort, Cleric. I remember when we caught a batch of students about to rush out into the wild to burn some fey creatures with fireballs. They said they needed the experience. The wisdom of yore teaches us otherwise. Repeated exercise builds muscle memory, yes. However, true experience is bought from novelty. Be interesting. Your future in high-tier magic will be born from that. Okay. Explaining the experience system of this game. Thank you, that was very informative. Hey, you got some more experience for that. No problem, I'm no lecturer, so apologies if I'm ranting too much. Okay, where are we gonna go now? Do you have any questions you know about all the stuff you missed? A couple of thousand of them, yes. I will also, of course, dive into whatever libraries you have available for information soon enough. You still have libraries, I hope? Yes, I mean, it doesn't matter what we say in theory, you should get all of these at once. But let's say we have the Darrowian library just south of here. I can give you I can get you access if I put in an application. Oh, grand, please do. Is that your local government, Darrow? No. I see. Also, I need to ask, what is this south? South? Yes, south is south. Ah, this must be some common knowledge. Please elaborate. It's a direction, downwards on the map. Interesting. You do not use inwards and outwards, with and against. The scholarly version is seaward and inland. Which one's forward in your case? With is when you move along the coast with the movements of the sun, and against is against the sun's movements. Ah, we use west for with then, and east for against. I see. Do you know the etymological origin of these words? I find your usage of them quite fascinating, especially the fact that my tongue spell does not localize them. Well, imagine a map. Interesting. That you base your directions on a map is very different from our way of navigation. Later, I would very much love to pore over your findings and documents, especially those maps. Well, there is a living library hidden under the tunnels under the city. You could check that out, maybe? Hold on, here? You don't mean the living library of Tulin Cattle? Potentially. Then it survived. Oh, how wonderful. The living library is one of the greatest creations of our empire, or at the very least the most practical. You made that thing? Not me, it was made by the great Hick Leash. I probably shouldn't mention that I really pissed off the living library, right? You moron. Lady she was, before my time, a great wizard of... I'm sorry, you did what? I didn't say that out loud. You pissed it off? Did you not go through with an equivalent exchange? I see, well that is unfortunate, no matter, I'm just happy it still exists. And now I know where it's hiding, I will be investigating it soonish. I've seen books all over the place. You just always go around, and ask to check them out. Interesting, so your people are very open-minded then. Yeah, I'm gonna imagine a snail talking to Viskin. I mean, I could see it. That pale man looks like an interesting spellcaster. We will see how they react. Is your people anti-snail? I suppose they haven't been given a chance to be anti-snail. You'll just be an oddity, something for people to gawk at. He nods and his eyes jut out. Interesting, I'm looking forward to navigating your society. So what do you want to ask? Lets out a bubbling noise. Timeline, I can see images in your current world, in your mind, your city called Norvik. You live upon the ruins of my people's creations, very interesting. But I am interested in how you got there. You appear to be human, yes? I remember the dragons of the east bringing your people to the coast as servants, slaves rather. When did you break your chains? It was during the Fade era. Humans broke free alongside many others as the big ones fell. Doug Doolin Dim led the charge against the dragons. It was... I see. I am both relieved and extremely happy to hear of their demise. You're welcome. But I must ask, whatever happened to Asuth? His downfall must have been at the hands of some great warrior. Oh, I know that one. It's a children's story. Oh? I'm going to think about the little and the large. A gnome befriended the Mist Titan of Iskani, and together they defeated the Great Red Dragon. You're kidding! By Jor, that is very good. Very, very good. An ironic end for such a horrid beast. Defeated by friendship? He lets out a bubbling laugh. May his bones be cursed forever. Humans of old Dimenor broke free and broke kingdoms. Hold on, let's see. Neil retracts his eyes and goes quiet for a while as he listens to your thoughts. Do go on. So, the Fade era after the Gate era lasted about 1,000 years. The Divine era lasted a bit less than 400 years. Then the Arcane era began. It lasted half a millennia until only 27 years ago. Let's start with the Fade era and then he'll say all of them, I'm assuming. Ah, you're at the start of a new era then. What do you call it? The post-war era. Ah, the Arcane era brought with it a most foul war then. I could only imagine. Myself, I too was born in a time after war, the Gate War, but my father saw the end of it in his youth. I will make sure to read about it more, but what caused this great war? We can say humans, we became great wizards. Numinous, a cabal of hedonistic, far realm worshipping, pitted against the great Arcanist against one another. An imp. He assassinated an elvish princess and has set the whole thing in motion, or it's complicated. Let's say it's complicated. Yes, I can see that. I can similarly not in any way tell you the real reason behind the Gate War. But since it's closer in the timeline, if I may ask, how did your Coast War end? Free Striders. Arcanists destroyed each other and ruined large portions of their band in the process. Arcanists were too powerful, the game was rigged against them and thus they lost. Magic stopped being potent. They tried to keep it a secret, eventually they could not support their empires, or it's complicated. I think it's complicated fits very well here. Fascinating! It's understandable there is no clear answer to such a complex conflict. As per usual, the victor will write the notes on history, however, so I will be sure to read it with critical stock. Stock? I stock. And your people then? They fled the Arcanists during the war. I seem to get the impression from the images I keep seeing. I hope you can't see me without the helm. Try my best not to imagine myself without the helm. Joke's on you. You cannot even remember what you look like underneath. Nothing too personal so far, thank Jor. Some esoterically attuned people cannot help themselves. It's honestly quite dangerous at times. My old rival used to run into my laboratory and think very loud and grimy things, most heinous scenarios you could imagine. What arsehole? What an asshole. You're quite the frayed fellow, aren't you? Well, what would be too personal? Like me naked, or his eye stalks glare at you in silence? Case in point. Okay. You keep mentioning Jor. What do you know about the guy? About Jor? Oh, just about everything and nothing. An enigma for wizard Jor is. First, I'd like to ask you, what do you know about Jor? Okay, and these are all going to be the same thing. Old wizard made the coast, brought beasts of Jor. Mythical figure died in the Gate War of yours. The people who created this place and invited people. Or the one who created this place and invited people, the great wizard who defied the god. Let's say mythical figure died in that Gate War of yours. The snailman listens to your thoughts intensely. Then he asks, Beasts of Jor? Is that what you call us? Well, we also have Anticipalian. That's a better word for it. I see. The recent Arcanist trouble humans caused must not have helped the issue of Jor. That is true. The term Anticipalian appears good. It is draconic, yes, before the closing. Very good. His eyes close up slightly. In the old world, Temen cattle, we worshipped oppressive gods, oppressive in the sense of absolute power. My forebears left willingly at the invitation of Jor, to never again serve. So it's important to remember our love for Jor was not subjugation. It was a partnership in the purest sense of the word. So to be clear, I am not a numinist. I have no religion, I do not worship Jor. My people were raised into self-idealization by Jor, given power esoterical forces. When he fell after the Gate War and no longer was as directly involved, well, we all held some hope he was alive, just hiding, or having gone into some other state of being to shut out the gods. Logically speaking, he has to be alive. That is my input on the discussion. Why? Because his realm still stands. I do not believe in a natural existence for his coast. I believe, although my evidence for this is faltering, the realm would collapse if Jor truly died. This place is held up by him, thus its existence is proof of his well-being. But could you imply that the ebb is maybe it falling apart? Not to mention the handful of messages we received. At least hint at something still existing out there. Unless you believe those messages were false, which they could be. I do not believe so. So you're a wizard? Yes, I am a learned Tulin of the Path of Jor. String master, string player, chord puller extraordinaire. I might have missed a few eras, but I assure you we had reality warping powers in our times. By Jor, I sure sound like an old-timer. Because he is. I heard that. Sorry. No worries, it's true. That's all I have to ask about wizards. Okay, so that takes you into the wizard conversation. What do you know about Iomestra? Iomestra? Where did you hear that name? His eyes stretch out towards you. A talking wall, thinking about my amazing wall speechcraft. Chansey? That was the name of it, yes. Recall my conversation with the literal wall. That is the name of a founding shell, one of the first snails to be invited by Jor, the one who created the foundations of Tulan-Cattle, Chansey the Seer. Huh. Think, but it was in the wall? Yes. It could have been an apparition, an animating spirit of the shape of Clancy's mind, or the very structure of the city you built your homes on is filled with the spirits of my ancestors. How peculiar. His eyes slowly retract. I suppose, then, I should tell you a story about Jor, then. Please do. He slides around on the floor as he speaks. What we know of Jor, some is derived from early witnesses. However, most, however, is recalled directly from his secret, original apprentices. Jor's apprentices hid in the shadows as to not become targets during the invasions. So I imagine it comes as quite a shock to you that... Oh, no, we know about those. What? They're not secret, not anymore. Huh? But there were 8 of them, how did you know that? Yes, common knowledge, one for each band. Right, why did you ask then? Iomestra, she is one of the apprentices. Interesting, no, we don't know their names, or at least I don't, just that there were 8 of them. Oh! In that case, let me tell you, Iomestra was the apprentice of Goodland. She was the first cord puller of Tulan-Cattle, speaker of Jor. Goodland? Goodland. Oh right, the translation must be confusing. That is the native term we use for this here slice, or band. That is what you call it. You call it Ascani. You knew this apprentice? She was my friend. Iam would travel from tower to tower whenever she visited the city. She was old, frail by the time I was born, yet she traveled like no other. I was taught prestidigitation by her. I always have trouble with that one. Anyway, her own personalized version. No doubt she would ask me to teach you, but that would be impossible. Only she could be a good enough teacher to spread such a complicated cantrip. He lets out a pained groan. Also, it would be almost impossible to add into the game in its current state, like, the amount of options would be too many. Her disappearance was the first great omen of our people. My wife, Tut, was even closer to her. We missed her dearly. So you spoke with someone who spoke with Jor directly? Yes, many times. She could never tell us much about her master, of course. However, it was clear he too was an interesting figure, a personality if you will, just like all the tales painted. What was she like? Kind, he nods. They used to call her the neutral good apprentice. I tended to agree. Did you speak with any other apprentices? I'm afraid not. Or perhaps lucky. Not all of them were as friendly to local populace, though most of them were simply destroyed during the Gate War. Why would he send an apprentice? Why not talk to you himself? That is a good question. We never had an answer. Why did she disappear? That is a very good question. One day she was there, the other she was not. I was the last of her kind to meet with her. I found her acting peculiar, stressed. She asked me, Isk, how much would you wager on a shell flip? I waited for my answer. I told her I'd wager nothing on such bad odds. A shell flip. I'm sorry, it's when you toss a flat shell into the air and see which side it lands on. A 50-50, fair game. He shakes his head. Iomestra, she accepted my answer and then left. I am not sure how to interpret such a strange question. Okay, so she was obviously going to do something risky and she thought the odds were about 50-50 and she's like, would you do it? Interesting. And that was it, she was gone. The Gator of Ascan, our connection to Jor, gone. Soon after, just a few years, Esuth burned it all down. Jeez. The snail man lets out a blubbering sigh. Since I've been given a second chance, perhaps we'll find out one day. What are you voting in the election? The what? The election, what are you voting? Voting? Hold on, do you select your leaders through election? We're starting to do it now, yeah. Fascinating. Is this an elective system for landowners or mages, or everyone gets to vote? Pretty much, at least. You just need to live here. Ah, you've shocked him. I did not expect something like that, such a liberal paradise. Well, I'm not going to judge the futuristic ideals. I must investigate. Tell me, What do you vote for? Kings? Governments? Parties with different ideologies based on how to run the city of Norvik. Parties? How'd lib? How'd lib indeed. What does that mean? Sorry, it was a bit of an insult. Do go on. There's the nationalists. They want to rule the city in the memory and spirit of the old God King Earth. That is amazing! He lets out a blubbering noise. Listening to all that, I would say I would actually vote for the Arcanists. Oh, sorry, I didn't go through all the... It wasn't an all choices one. Apologies. Seems like they would be the most esoterically attuned party, which fits my ideals. However, in my experience, a group of wizards working together tends to end up being quite the mess, but my heart still leans in that direction. I'll have to go see for myself once it's time for that election. He gets out more blubbering noises. He has a fair reason to laugh at it. It will most likely be a messy process. At the very least, the snail has good taste. His eyes behold you knowingly. What will you do now? I will build a base, a laboratory somewhere in this city of yours, built upon our ruins. Any tips on who I should talk to? Well, Viskin might be of help. He's a pale man who owns the local mortuary in Tolstad. Lady Sageleaf is local goblin chieftain. She could hook you up with something in exchange, I'm sure. The local magistrate, Darrow. He'll be very interested in having an Anticipalian in the area, or there's a ton, really. I'm going to say Darrow. He would indeed be interested, even if there might be better options. Oh, yes, I see. Oh, this will help a lot. Thank you, Cleric. Once I've established a foothold in this new era, I will return to my research, figure out how the strings have changed over millennia, relearn the mastery of chords, collect the resources needed. Then, of course, he looks upwards, I will bind her fragments to this material world. I will return to flesh, bring life to her once again. My dear sweet Tut, Irma will be given her life once again. Then, if she will have me, I will build a life for us here. A life of peace, true, fair peace. Wish me luck. Good luck. He nods. Alright, I'm not going to ask the last one yet. I'm going to leave for a second, and I'm going to save. Okay. Now, there was a crash in the middle of that conversation. It failed when loading, like, the next set of dialogue. It kind of jittered up and then just it fell apart. So, I did have to re-behold, and I re-beholded with a 21, which means we have some extra stuff. His goal will be completed in time. However, before then, you are certain he'll break many taboos of the era. This is the type of man, not too unlike the more sophisticated Arcanist who will break reality and rewrite Jor's rules, all in an attempt to get the final say. Okay, also we got new spells. We got Aura of Vitality. Healing energy radiates from you. During the encounter, each round you and all allies will gain 2d6 hit points. Oh, outside an encounter you gain 20d6 hit points. It's a huge heal. Okay. And then we got Detect Secrets. If there is a trap, hidden cache, or secret door that you are not aware of within range, you create a translucent trail guiding you to its location. That's really good. However, I feel like that has to be like a Arcanist run type thing. And the reason is, I feel like you need more spell slots to make that something that you could realistically do, like, in every room. Because right now, we would run out of spell slots so quickly, and we need it for other stuff, so, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think that's for us. We also got 2 new things here. So we got a Wish spell. An ancient spell scroll from a different time. You cannot read the contents like at all. The snail glyphs running along the edges causes your entire body to tingle as you touch them, however. This is the power of a wish spell. The power is so strong that even the paper itself becomes esoteric. Just keeping it near causes your nerves to tingle. And then Astral Projection. An ancient spell scroll of astral projection. Just holding it makes you feel like you have the power to rip a hole in reality. Well, you can't use it though, not without ripping another hole in yourself in the process. Okay. Hello. Right. How do I enter the pillar? Oh, you wish to enter a closed gate. That is bold. I probably should not mention the rogue spellcaster, right? Wait, damn it. He's hearing this right now, isn't he? Shit. The snail stares at you. I heard nothing. But if you need to enter a closed gate, that is no small feat, of course. But it's possible. Very much so. What lies beyond is not so much a mystery as it is a question of shape, tunnels, paths, cracks in the veil around Jor's realm. To enter is as simple as either having a key, a blessed passing, or forcing your way through with a powerful spell. Gate, astral projection, wish. They can all break through. Of course, with the current state of things here in your time, it is clear all such methods would be difficult. Very difficult. You require assistance from creatures who have studied or understand its current shape. Have you any in mind? He lowers his head. Tut was a genius on planar travel. She could have helped you. Oh, right. Tut was your dead wife. He glares at you with one eye as the other falls upon his staff. You have made a great friend in me, Cleric. That will be rewarded. Oh, the staff? You hold it out, feeling the power surge through the rough wood. I call it Vesh, Staff of Strings. You may call it the Staff of Cthulhu and Cattle as a remembrance of my fallen people. It will return to me once you are finished with all of this. The crystal at the top lights up as he speaks. It is now attuned to you. If you wield it while dealing with this gate, it will grant you assistance, information, attunement, so on. My dear wife's research can be found within its core. It will help you, I'm sure. Thank you, and Tut. As for who you should speak with, I have no idea. Unless you want to write a contract with some powerful devil or serve a far realm monster, you might not have too many good options. Oh, we should speak to the devil about it as well. The only creature I knew beyond my people who understood the mechanics of the gate was the gate guardian herself, but she was ancient by the time I reached adulthood, so I would not count on her still being around. Gate guardian, are you talking about the Sphinx? Excuse me? Ulzus, the Sphinx. She's still around? Yeah, so you know her? The snail leans back, still reeling over this information. He's got an old friend in the city then, good for him. I'll have to visit, so she's still in the lair? It's a tavern now called the Drunk Sphinx. This is a strange era you've built for yourselves. I can't say I dislike it. In that case, I highly recommend you go speak with Ulzus. Unless you made a fool of yourself before her, she might be inclined to help you getting into the gate crack. I'll flash back to when I spoke with Ulzus last. Oh, Jor. I'm sure with Maravesh it will be fine. And if not, then maybe there is some other dark and oppressive magical creature you can persuade. Like the aberration called Everland that lives in these tunnels, I assume. Huh? He looks around. I probably should leave here soon, if things like that have taken hold. I'll see you around, Disk. Okay, so we now have this. A piece of bracken born through centuries of gate war fighting. This indestructible item was seen in the early days of this world and now has been brought to this modern alien era. Grasping it gives you chills. Intelligence con. Okay, if we were willing to take a hit on strength, that would actually be really good for instead of our pickaxe of secrets, but... yeah, we would only give us one up on... actually, it would only give us one up on con. Yeah, so it's a straight con for a strength check, because these are actually on even numbers, so... yeah, okay. It could potentially be really good. Right. Well, that was a long conversation with a snail. Also, I gotta say, occasionally in this game, I'll come up with a voice for a character, and I'll be like, this will be fine. And then I see how much dialogue they have, and I'm like, my god. like, that's way too much. I was just happy that Etier's one, I went for something that was fairly easy. But no, that guy is... yes. That guy had a lot to say. Okay. All the way up here. So there was another route we didn't take here. I don't know if you remember. There was another route we just didn't go. Oh yeah, I got XP for doing that. That's cool. So that's over here. Because we came down this way, but there was this route as well. Hey, you can walk here. Yeah. But there's nothing here. You can just walk here. Oh, wait a second. We can come around this way? It just lets you see this area from another direction, I guess. Oh, okay. Well, whatever. So I want to go up to the below, which means Etier will leave us, I believe. Yeah. Okay. It is almost 11. I think we want to continue exploring, because I think tomorrow's our last day. I'm trying to think of other things I need to do. I need to go see Lady Sageleaf as well at some point, and potentially tell her some stuff. We haven't told her anything yet, but I think now might be the time. We still haven't done Speak with Dead either. Yeah. Somebody earlier, and I'm using meta-knowledge here, somebody earlier did say that they could give me a clue on where it was, which I Oh, wow. Hello. Which I guess if they can give me a clue, then that means that it was accessible. That's my knowledge, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to figure it out. Okay, so I can talk with this thing again. You stand in Root's chamber. Lord Reckham has moved here with his family. Several smaller hail snails cluster around the massive patriarch. The air is cold, frigid even. As you approach, the great snail's eye stalks focus on you. A clicking sound, both faint and loud at once. I want to comprehend languages again? No reason to do it. Approach Lord Reckham. You step closer to the massive snail. The smaller ones part slightly. The clicking intensifies. Oh, I want to speak with animals. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Clicking transforms into words as your spell takes hold. Little friend, you freed us. Lord Reckham's voice is slow, deliberate. You're welcome, Lord Reckham. Grateful we are. My children, they thank you. The smaller snails click in unison. How are you feeling? Warm, warmer. The cold sleep fades. Soon we move again. Will you stay here? For now, yes. This place, it is good. Moisture, darkness, peace. We will stay. Do you need anything? No, little friend. You have given enough. We are content. That's all I wanted to say. Little guy deserves reward. The giant snail slowly unveils something shiny from its mouth. Treasure of family. You get your hands on a shiny gemstone. We are eternally grateful. Snail glares at the giant gem. Then he gives you a thumbs up. Thank you, Lord Reckham. The words fade back into clicking. Slow, rhythmic. They seem comfortable here. Yeah, the roots has a good moisture levels, and it's cold enough for them without being too cold for us. Lady Sageleaf is less than thrilled, but she's allowing it for now. Count the smaller snails. You count them carefully. 5, no 6 smaller hail snails. Have a good one, Lord Reckham. Okay. A purple gemstone is very pretty and probably very expensive. Once this whole election business is over, you can either sell it in the black market or turn it into the tower for a reward. Neither would really net you a fortune, but maybe a fraction of a fortune? So it's intelligence minus charisma. Oh, sorry. Charisma minus intelligence. Oh, I need to re-behold you, right? Nice. A brute, a beast, a warrior, she could break you easily. Loyalty is a fickle thing, hers lies with the halfways for the sake of coin and shelter. But it's also something else, something more ethereal. Ogres, hobgoblins, ettins, trolls, the bugbear stands among them all as the chargers of Ascani wilds. You've heard of their kind finding place within civilized society as the mercenaries and guards. Ungor is a cliché. What else is there to her? She loves violence, she loves power, she craves the thrill. This is a toxic woman through and through. Perhaps you should get to know her better. I found the man in yellow, the one who charmed you. Get ready to show how I avenged her. You did. The bugbear lifts her chin and looks down on you. Is he in the city below still? No, I found him captured by a troll. Oh, that is good. He deserves pain. Well, speaking of which, I punched him in the face. You did? She clears her throat, but it sounds more like a surprised growl. You did. I did. I avenged your honor. This imposing fluffy monster looks you up and down with a smirk. I must have misjudged you, human. Maybe you are a real man after all. Yes. Careful now, real smooth. Invite her to fight thugs in housing. That should work. Mickey is happy for Master. Meek did not know humans needed to prove humanness. Very good. Hairy woman trust Master now? Okay. Let's see what we're gonna say. As a real man, perhaps you'd like to go on a date sometime then? No. No! But, she gives you a nod and a grin. A sparring match in the garden. After the election, of course. I'm on duty until then. A physical meeting with this handsome woman. This is a massive win for you and your manhood. No, I've earned something more. She scoffs. Something more. A deep frown appears on her face. You dare throw my offer away, human. Okay, you defeated the troll, you defeated the roper, and we have advantage. Demand more. Ooh, double 15. You feel your muscles quake. The earth itself is moved by your loins. Oh gods. Simply speak your mind. You know she will hear you. I battled a troll for you. Show me some appreciation. Her frown fades, replaced by a wicked smile, and she grabs your uniform, pulling you closer. Much, much closer. Oh gods. She opens her maw, right over the little piece of space left between your neck and your chainmail, and then she bites down. Attached. Hard enough to leave a solid mark. Then she lets go, both of her maw and her claws. Appreciation. Hope you enjoy. That is what you get when you chase crazy. This is a real woman. Yes, thank you. That was very nice, thanks. You can let me know when you have time later for a sparring match. Now, is there anything else you need, you puny human male? Get a date with Moongore. Ha, fantastic. I defeated a troll. A troll? The hairy woman gives you a wicked smile. I'd say you were lying, but I don't think you're up for that. This will surely help. He actually did kill a troll, technically speaking. It was just... Silence, she interrupts him. She nods in your direction. Well done, human. I find your skills highly arousing. Thank you, I made them myself. The bugbear scoffs and clenches her moaning star. Now what else do you... I should be wished to speak of. I will not indulge your ego any more than this, I assure you. Oh man, yep, halfway there, boy. Glory be as glory found. The greatest man will not be bound to foreign lands and foreign shores. The loving heart will open doors. This is a shame. This is all such a shame. I'll nod my head and leave. Alright, well we got Rag and a date. That's cool. That's the most important thing we've done this episode. What is happening here? Okay. The goblins are reclaiming the tunnel east. It's gotten real hot down there. We can't go down there? Aww. Alright, fine. We could speak with the tree, but I'm not going to speak with the tree. We already know what the tree does. The tree moves out of the way if you speak to it. In which case, I think we're done here? The city below the below. Yes, we've done roots. We've done the southern caverns. We've done the sewers. We've done the north caverns. We've done city below the below. Yeah, I think we're done here. I think we're 100% finished here. Right. I guess I should go to the top part of the pillar if I want to enter it. Yeah. No, I just want to go to Tolstad. Okay. Oh, also, do we have anything that I needed to take root on that I've forgotten about? I mean, that does happen occasionally between episodes. I just want to double check. Actually, let's do a quest run through. I think that's actually a good use of our time. Let's save and do a quest run through. So, tea shop that blew up. Don't know what it is yet, but we know it's the person who ran away. Bragging the Tolstad's done. Coin Lord we've met. Valkyrie we've completed. We have not yet found the owner. You should check the warehouse on Waterlane View. I would love to, but you know, I can't. Okay. So we're really missing getting into the warehouse. We could speak with animals and try and get in that way. An invisible smoking man was seen entering the Pillar of Jor. Yeah, so this is the final quest. So that's kind of the final one of that line. Okay. Esoteric Ebb. Class Conflict, Phoenix Folio, Lost Minds of Tulin, Amen, Primal stuff. There's some stuff we haven't found yet, obviously at the edges as well. Slitch House Blues, Crypt Keeper. There's a powerful spellcaster named Bondeville hiding down in the crypts. Oh, that was found on the first day at 0 hours and 0 minutes, apparently. Ah, we should probably check that out at some point. Okay, so that's actually... We need to go to the crypts. That's somewhere we haven't been yet. Yeah, we also need to go to the warehouse. We haven't sold our milk either, but, you know. Let's think about things that matter. So it's currently 11. Wait, is it 11? Yeah, it's 11. I think we should go to the crypts. We should also go to the warehouse, but I think we should go to the crypts first. Right. Quick save. And enter. Looking for a spellcaster called Bondeville. Oh, this is where this is. Oh. Okay. Interesting. That's an odd connection. It's a rat. Grab it. Black rat. Alright, how many rats do I have, by the way? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rats. I have all 5 rats. Perfect. We can hand in that quest. Not that it was a quest, but I have them now. Thousands of dead. Huh? I hate this place. A literal pile of skulls. Thousands, each a life taken by war, suffering, or time itself. The eternal cycle. You will join them soon. This is insane. So many bodies. You know well about this. This was the first of the containment crypts. Containment crypt, an area designated as confinement for bodies to avoid the risk of undeath. Many were erected beneath Norvik during the years of attempted reclamation of the Curse Lands. The first, this is Earth's first crypt, built for himself by himself. These bones belong to curse victims, those claimed by the Cursed Lands horrors. Designed to rise as undead hordes, Earth sent many expeditions to the east, each an attempt to reclaim the spirits, the literal bones of those who were left behind. Entire ships were loaded with the many, many bodies brought ashore to Norvik and then put into these crypts. Unmarked graves, yes, but consecrated all the same. An attempt at total redemption. Earth did his duty, doing his best to cleanse the world and free the spirits of his fallen people. Indeed. As you can see, it was a success. These bones do not move. They are not held in the crazed vitriol of negative necromantic energy. They are at rest, even in this horrid state. I'm going to watch them all carefully. They do not move. So these are all the people who died in the Curse Lands? Yes, the greatest tragedy of your people. This is how they ended up, simply due to the issue of numbers. There were too many bodies to give proper burial rites to each of them, even after burning the flesh. Since ocean or river burials are even more problematic due to the horror issue, this was the best option. I'm going to bow my head to the dead. Okay. So this looks like this is part of the city below, and that looks like that's the crypt. I might be wrong. It's literally the city below, huh? It doesn't just look like the city below, it is the city below. This is just another area of it that fits in. Crazy. Oh, hello. A horrid noise in the dark. Moving, a mess of rusty iron and clattering bones. Moving towards you. No, 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 I hate the crypts. It calls to you. Roll initiative. That's incredible. It's still the lowest. It's still the lowest. Is that a skeleton? Taking stilted steps towards you, the skeleton raises his sword hand. The blade comes down, striking you in the shoulder. A bone-chilling shriek emanates from the skull. Destroy it. Don't you have some holy magic against this thing? The goblin brings out his sling. In one swift move, he launches a projectile up towards the abomination. It flies right through its open ribcage. You must defend yourself and smite this foul abomination. Join your brother. Clearly, any type of piercing or slashing damage would be near useless against this creature. Blunt force is what you need. Blunt force. Your fists will lead the way. Okay, I'm going to use 1 cure wounds here. And then I'm going to punch the skeleton. Yep. We got it. With a single swing, you line up a perfect strike. Your fist connects with the thing's skull, cutting off its horrid shriek. The impact sends its skull flying off as the rest of it collapses upon the crypt floor. Great hit. The bone spills to the ground in a pile of dust and scrap metal. No other threats? No, none. Thank you, Snell. You're welcome. You did good, too.
You performed your duty. This crypt has been cleansed.
That's an overstatement. The goblin leans on his knee, panting. Gods, I hate crypts. He raises a finger and wags it. Nothing good ever came from constructing a crypt. You either get cursed place filled with death or a meat grinder filled with undeath. His veins are nothing but adrenaline. Agreed, that's why we burn corpses these days. Really, a genuinely smart tradition. Best thing humans ever invented. Oh yes, for sure, I'm not going to say it's dwarven. A bang from somewhere far away echoes down the hallway. The goblin jumps. A shiver down your spine. Then the chamber grows silent once more. A sense of death still lingers. He clears his throat. Fuck this place, let's go. Hold on, I need to make sure this warrior gets what he deserves. Which is? Some respect. Whisper a prayer to Earth. Right, I get it. I'll do what I must. Okay. Well, I think I want to give myself another spell slot. Maybe 2. And then some healing. There we go. I'm going to steal from him. Aventail. Intelligence, con, charisma, helmet. Okay. Taken from the undead in the city below, this helm was worn in the early days of Norvik by those powerful spellslinging clerics who served Earth in his reconquest. It even has some glowing esoteric runes left on the inside. Berg Grunden Skakar av makt du trollkard av Earth. Marken var evigt vara din. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to use that. What's this? A mace? My mace? You reach for the mace. It is cold. Colder than iron permits. Got yourself a nice weapon, eh? Grip it hard. As your gloved hand wraps around the handle, a chill runs up your arm. Not just cold. Turn around. Nothing. Just the empty crypt. But, you good? The goblin looks concerned. There's someone here. What? The goblin readies his sling. Where? You look down at the mace. It's ornate, well crafted, yet your body seems to fail when you hold it. Something is very, very wrong with it. What? Is it cursed? Did I just get cursed? No, it's there again. The figure, in the periphery, watching. Spin around. Nothing. Gone. This thing is haunted. What? He stares at the mace. You sure? I'm sure. Great, haunted weapons. Just what we needed. Damn this. You find this lovely weapon ready to take on the city's foulness, and you simply cannot wield it. The horror, like some unfleshy ghast, come to haunt you is too great. Keep it sealed. Keep it close. The spirit watches. Gulp. Okay. Standard issue among the Earthguard. The soul of its previous owner is still haunting it. You see a dude staring at you at the corner of your eye whenever you wield it. Might be best not to use it in a fight. Okay. Con, wisdom, minus strength. Obviously not for us, but, you know. Right, this one. Crypt of an archer is empty. Shard of Jor and some crowns. Oh, what's this? Stone coffin. Tomb of a fighter is empty inside except these. If any of these are just like trifle, we're going to trifle first and then we're going to see. Yeah, so these are both other things. First Tomb of Earth is open. Let's start with this one. This is it. This is the first place his body was placed 27 years ago. Your lord, your master, your god, Earth. To see it in such a state, shake in anger. It is terrible, but this place is still holy, consecrated. Earth's traces still linger here, as it should. We'll leave the sarcophagus. This one? A stone coffin rests against the wall. Of classical dwarven design used for early Earthfolk tombs. The lid is sealed tight, almost built into the wall itself. Let's examine the coffin. You run your hand along the stone. Cold, smooth. The carvings are deep, deliberate. Look at the carvings. Your eyes trace the symbols carefully. Death, rebirth, the cycle. Typical dwarven work, a few words of poetry, nothing interesting. These coffins must have been close dwarven warriors of Earth, until their graves were exhumed, of course. Examine the handle. It is integrated perfectly into the design. An iron ring serves as the grip. Pull the handle. It is firm, you cannot move it. Rotate the handle. You grip the carved skull and twist. A soft click echoes from within the wall. Something has unlocked. Now pull the handle. The handle resists for a moment, then gives way. A secret room? Okay. Revealing a narrow staircase descending into darkness. Smell of old magic. Oh boy, even deeper, huh? Doom. You scared? I'm not feeble-minded if that's what you're asking. So yeah, I'm scared. He steels himself and grips his sling. Let's go. Into the dark. Ooh. Okay, if there was ever somewhere you were going to get a Speak to Dead spell, here is a potential. A shard. Oh, I'll have that. A wooden coffin. It's rotting. Okay. Hello. A highly decorated skull. Stepping into the hidden tomb, you see a colourful display of twinkling light through the gloomy and dusty air. An eerie altar placed on top, a skull and several colourful gems. Valuable too. And shiny, take one. You could get it appraised by someone downtown. The skull is a sign of death. Don't touch anything. Just look around. The shrine is quiet. The colourful gems cover its altar as well as the eye sockets of the central skull. To think this sacrilegious and quite frankly ominous corner would be stashed away in such a holy place. This is Earth's original crypt, for God's sake. Is there no depth of depravity that these cultists and undead enthusiasts can stoop to? The skull looks a bit deformed, doesn't it? The goblin squints. A bit. Depends on what type of skull it is, I suppose. Look at the jaw, it's all wonky in the eyes. He sighs. I don't like ripping on a dead guy, but yeah, that's one wacky skull. Oh, wacky skull? Ah, this is the person in the crypt. I see. You goddamned phrenologists. As if by some invisible force, the bejeweled skull rises from the altar. Its gleaming eyes twinkle in the light, its jaw chattering, the noise causing you to recoil. Death. No. No way. An unending wave of dread falls upon your essence. Earth, protect me. Protect you? The goblin tries to grab you, but he freezes and groans. What the hell? He falls to his knees. You barely stand. I can't move. The dread. You resist it. The skull's jaw stops chattering. As the noise disappears, you feel in control once more. You wake me up for some trifling bullshit. You're a trifler, huh? It clicks its teeth together. I'm the cleric, trying not to puke. Cleric, eh? A cleric of a dead god? Holy hell, this thing is terrible. Just being close to it ruins your posture. The body cannot sustain this undeath. The skull lets out a howling laughter as it shudders about in the air. I am Necrolord Bondaval. Wahaha. Punch the skull. Necrolord, that's the title of old Dimenor. We're unfortunate enough to encounter here a remnant of the Arcanist, left to decay in this mad form, a demi-lich. Punch the skull. Okay. Nat 20, huh? Which actually lowered my dice roll. You wind up your fist, lock eyes with the cursed gemstones in the skull sockets, and pray. Earth be blessed. Huh? You make contact with the bony surface, sending the abomination spinning in the air. Ah! As it stops spinning, it looks at you askew and clacks its teeth together. You strike at me? The skull lets out a crazed laugh. I like you. What? Such gusto, you remind me of my old lieutenant. The boil was swung at his superiors. I raised him 12 times over the course of the war. Snell, I think the skull likes me. I think so too. Play along now. If you keep this up, you might be worthy enough to be raised as a servant one day. He rattles a laugh, slowly spinning in the air. Biskin let me know all about your little situation. Oh, he did? The demi-lich clicks once. You're not very necromantically entangled, are you? Is that a bad thing? Of course it is. Every spellcaster should aim towards the necromantic. It's just natural. You see, I'm not just some horny wizard. The skull drops down and flips around on the table. I'm a goddamn mage! You hear the goblin groaning. Trained in the arts by hanging dim legends, sent to fight on behalf of the greatest empire in the history of yours, Arsprint. Necrolord is not just some title, it's a calling, a dream. A dream of undead supremacy. One day it will be reached. You're the lucky one here, for I will help guide you to a string attunement. A necromantic attunement. You do that for me? Of course, I owe it to Viskin for one. And for second, I love spreading the joy of death magic. Any sane man would. The skull is not going to kill you, but you do not have the strength to vanquish a demi-lich like this, so later. Do it later. Okay. Cividix explained strings gets us a huge DC down on this one. Interesting. So what are you exactly? Ah, you never asked, did you? I'm a terrifying lich, of course. He does not consider himself decayed, a sign of madness. Got it. You'd have to be pretty stupid not to. It's a lich-like. Okay. How did you end up like that? Like what? So handsome. Don't kiss ass, Cleric. Nobody likes that. He's right about that, usually. A skull? He goes silent for a few seconds. Clearly a rarity once you get him talking. I don't know what you're talking about. Seeming purposefully obtuse. Dead? Ah, that. Long story. Been around since the 300s. Not Gate era, is it? You think I'm a damn anti-Sapalian? The Gate era began over 4,000 years ago. Do you realize how few relics, let alone creatures, still exist from that time? I should finger you for just saying such a stupid thing. Terrible phrasing. Just absolutely awful. The demi-lich is returning to Finger of Death, nothing else. Fade era? By the strings, no, are you insane? I would be talking if you were lich of the fucking Fade era. Come on, it'd be over a millennium. Over and a half. Divine era? No, I'm not that old, come on. Arcane era? Of course, what else? The skull pauses and it's rotating and focuses on you. I'll talk your skin off, Cleric. Please, no. He clearly loves to talk. Any question you ask, he will answer. Where did you grow up? In a small village called Ev. We've heard of Ev before. We had barbarian invasions from the Virgeni border every year. To protect them, I raised our dead from the village crypts. Those were some bloody battles, I'll tell you. Took 12 heads before the message got into their thick, giant skulls. Who taught you necromancy? A ghost, actually. Haunted a ruin outside my father's farmstead. Led me to my first spellbook. Told me how to pull strings and fast-tracked my spell slot accumulation. Her name was Ulina Prax. A wonderful, crazy harlot. No need for such foul language. Those are her words. Uli, the crazy harlot. Don't be so sensitive. The skull does a spin. She was captured by a high-ranking exorcist after I built my first squadron. Last I heard, she was part of some Free Strider trade prince's personal collection. Kept her in a bottle. Like she's a genie or something. I would have gone with her in a fancy box myself. Or an urn. Your innards churn by having to listen to his strange tales. What's your greatest accomplishment? Oh, it's a bit embarrassing, but it has nothing to do with necromancy. Back in the war, I was to receive a big commendation in the Thazin. Big event, big deal. Well, that evening, during the reception, I managed to seduce and charm a beautiful young lady. Turns out she was the daughter of a Hagendim Arcanist. Can you imagine? So obviously I married her straight away. My father-in-law made sure I got promoted to hell and back over the next decade. Got me deep in the Arcanist circle until the accident, of course. So you married up, that's your greatest accomplishment. Arcanist politics is won in the bedroom, not in the battlefield. Don't worry, there was true love between Akalia and I. She was a great scribe of the era, that glorious woman. We didn't divorce until after a century of lichdom. Do you understand how rare that is? That was love, it was.
That is strangely impressive, yes.
Could you imagine 100 years of marriage? Horrific. Last I heard, she was heading in a mercantile faction, in Feltire. He clicks his non-existent tongue. Gods be damned, I miss that lady. Her body, yes, but her mind. Strangely idealistic for an Arcanist lich. So what do you do to earn that commendation? Ah, murder mostly. Once I mastered 9th level spell slots, I managed to create my own custom raised dead spell. It allowed me to direct 100 zombies at once, and most importantly, they all had basic motor functions left. They could use tools, rifles, wands, basic magic items. It took a toll, but I alone held the line on Gormisol for 3 days straight. Corpses as far as the eyes could see, those were the days. What's your greatest necromancy accomplishment then? Oh, easy. I led the animation of a Dracolich. Dracolich, a dragon who goes through the act of achieving lichdom. They are known to be the most terrifying creatures along the coast for at least 2 reasons. None are known to be alive today, publicly. A Dracolich. A Dracolich, yes. Ichimilian Ravit, a child of Isuth. Not one you've read about in history books, but she had the spirit, that dragon. I wasn't a regular in the dragon cultist community, but my experience as a lich led them to hiring me. I would have done it for free, honestly. He lets out a sinister chuckle. In the end, we succeeded. That was my greatest accomplishment, Cleric. Creating one of the most fearsome creatures ever to walk the coast. On to the dragon. Obviously wouldn't divulge the secret of Draco lichdom, but rest assured, Ichimilian went through hell to achieve her new form. It was a tragedy what those genie Templars did to her, and her army, otherwise she could have easily ruled a city or 2 by now. Genie Templars? Some crazy warriors out of Kargamesh. Was a big thing 100 years ago. I'm fond of dragons, you know, mortals look up to us, gods look down to us, dragons treat us as equals. At least the wise ones, ehehehe. Tell me about the accident of yours. This lich is talking all night long, it seems. It's really not worth talking too much about. After myself and my dear wife had both achieved lichdom, I made some misplays in the politicking. Stepped on the wrong foot, so to speak, got my entire splinter house exiled from the Hagendim coalition. One thing led to another, yada yada. I ended up in the Scanny. The lord of the fortress invited me to stay for a while, did some freelancing, you know, newly divorced dad shit. Once Earth arrived, I ended up working with some of his paladins. Never met the fellow, but I liked the cut of his jib. The lord of the fortress? The fortress of Verdun. You know, the esoterical, shadowy, miles-wide castle? Oh, yes, that one, never been. Can't recommend it. The lord reached out and was looking for necromancers to add some new tricks. Who's this lord? No clue, but he paid well and let me research this crazy stuff going on there. Still have no idea what the fortress actually is. My professional guess would be that it's an esoteric pocket gone wild, like a slice of pure negative energy that's landed right in a scan and can't escape its bubble. Just one of many weird wonders of the coast. When this fortress opens up, there's always a trove of merchants setting up camp outside the entrance. Many great beasts to encounter and vanquish in that legendary evil dungeon. You should go there someday. You have any kids? A dozen or so. Productive. Thank you. My wife, Akalia, ex-wife, was a prominent member of the MRS, Magocrat Reproduction Society. They were the foremost of women-first magics, you know, the kind of stuff that makes the whole childbirthing and or rearing business into a cakewalk. Never did get along with those hags, but they did let me have 2 sons, so that's something. Are you implying that sons are better than daughters? That sounds like feminism. I thought the Arcanists were old-school patriarchs, so good job, brother. Let's say, that sounds like feminism. I thought the Arcanists were old-school patriarchs. Oh, absolutely. As long as the MRS were focused on providing population among the houses, they were fine. As soon as they began spreading birth control and ideals of female liberation, he cackles. Those hags were cracked down hard towards the end. The return to the revolution was one of the main contributors to the fall of the empire. At least, it seems that way to me. A woman scorned, etc., etc., etc. He turns and stares at you. Are you a feminist, Cleric? Your goblin companion turns to look at you as well. There are no women around, so the answer doesn't really matter. No, you do not align with the notions of the feminine dominance. The female is powerful. In all honesty, you would never have imagined, not for 1 second, you'd ever be asked that question by a demi-lich. No, I am not a feminist. Ah, then you're anti-woman. Well, the cleric, more or less, yes, he is. Anyhow, you were asking about my kids. Good job, brother. Thank you. Kalia did most of the work, of course, but my contribution should not be forgotten. Big load, certainly. This is an inane topic. Are you implying sons are better than daughters? Not really. There's an argument to be made that they're much less of a hassle. But the MRS hags definitely had an agenda, you know, more girls, more members. I'm not crazy. What happened to your kids? I think some of them survived the fall. My blood wasn't prominent enough to be lineage persecuted among the Freestriders. At the same time, it's not like they received any inheritance. Logically, I should have some great grandchildren scattered around Diminori. Or, sorry, what's it called now? Reeds? Stupid name if you ask me. They should have called it Stridery or something. That would have been on brand. Cool. That gives me a better picture of your life. Enjoy the view. Tell me about Viskin. Lovely bastard. Gave him a serious case of testicular torsion once. Can't believe he ever forgave me. Pure evil. Vanquished his foe. Now. The skull lets out a maniacal laugh. What the fuck? Why would you ever do that? Not like he didn't deserve it. We had a little war going on, okay? I just looked at my position at the Fortress of Verdun. It was 30-ish years, I believe, right when your Earthfolk had begun growing quite bold up the River Torna. So I decided to sneak into your city here. That's when I saw him. An old opponent, Viskin. I immediately remembered his ugly mug and his rotten soul engineering. You came to Norvik 30 years ago? Something like that. Either way, I decided to kill him and take his place among the mortals of Norvik. A couple of magic duels and assassination attempts later, and we were at a stalemate. Although I'd consider him more as me just getting tired of hunting him down all the time. Him and his goons. Our battles came to an end though when the local vampire started messing with us both. Threatened to expose us, so we joined up. Team up of the century. Or that decade at least. You two fought a vampire together? It was an epic duel of the shadowy forces. The skull bounces around. Together, however, the vampire was easily eliminated. In the aftermath, we decided to work together. Viskin even helped me get this sweet alcove for myself. We share research from time to time, work together to figure out the mystery of... He stops. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about something else. Did you turn into a skull in that battle with the vampire? A skull? Makes a motion that could be interpreted as a shrug. I'm a bit bony, but a skull don't be preposterous. A memory-altering spell by Viskin, perhaps? Who was the vampire? Thomas Darrow was his name, a nobleman, which made it much more dangerous. He's saying that Darrow was a vampire. Slander, surely. Hopefully. We cut him down without anyone suspecting a thing. Maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but who cares? Ah, Thomas Darrow, so that's what happened to the lost uncle of the Darrow house. What's that about research? Nothing? That's nothing? He says nothing more. Alright, I have some other questions. Okay. Know anything about the tea shop thing? Nah. You seem pretty well informed about goings on around the city. I get updates sometimes, but I don't know. Fun night exploded, though. I wouldn't say it was fun. Boring. It was probably a rogue wizard, or some kind of magic item mishap. Whenever a necklace of fireballs was smuggled from the floating cities down to the peasants, they'd always find a way to blow themselves up in the most spectacular ways. Hilarious. Why didn't the floating cities blow up? Anti-magic defenses and great architecture. Sometimes misses occurred, of course, but it was surprisingly rare and... not every day a village exploded in a fireball. Those necklaces were valuable, and sometimes someone smuggled one away from the front lines or off a factory floor. I was never too into evocation magic for that reason. Too easy. He chuckles in a sinister way. Who are you voting in the election? It goes against my ideological beliefs to vote. Democracy doesn't work. Never has, never will. I completely agree. You've seen the science too, then? People are just too stupid, on average, statistically. Magiocracy or technocracy might work. Hell, even the oligarchy has its uses. Just look at the Freestriders. But real democracy is foolish. Might help launch these other more powerful forms of governance into speed. Real permanent democracy is shit show. Just you wait. What form of governance do you prefer, then? Magiocracy, of course. Dominance by those with godly arcane powers brings intense fortune to the world. What about the Coast War? Survival of the fittest. Only reason it didn't have a magiocratic winning on top afterwards was because of Jor's inebriating Ebbing. Terribly annoying. Ebbing? What? We're getting more stuff about the Ebb. What? Of course, you haven't heard of it? The Esoteric Ebb. He's speaking of the lack of powerful magic in our world. The lack of magic. We can talk about political theory all day, but if the Ebbing had not occurred, the Arcanists would still rule the coast. There is no argument to be had about that. Let's see. The gods would have stricken you down from your thrones in the end. You know it. The skull lets out a surprisingly hearty laugh. I'll be voting for the Nationalists, by the way. Earth be blessed. Pose in prayer. You clerics and your divine interventions. He shakes his skull? The demi-lich holds much knowledge despite his mad nature. Ask him, what is ebb, truly? Some ask if this magical fading could have caused Earth's end. It is not considered very acceptable to inquire such things, but it is a fair question. I have to ask, what do you think the ebb really is? Demi-lich swirls around in the air before landing down the altar. I say the same thing most rational Arcanists say, back when it was first discovered. Jor is alive. He is haunting us, taking away what he gave with his strings. As a joke, as a punishment, or a gift, who knows? Personally, I'm furious with him, if he is indeed still here watching us. That's something. That's what the snail was saying as well. Okay. I will attune with necromancy. It worked. Think. The demi-lich believes himself to be your teacher here. He might be insane, but there is knowledge to be had if you can decipher it. Tell me a bit as best you can. The School of Necromancy. How do I master it? Strings are strings. They're equal but different. You must have seen them a lot since you have them running through your flesh in the masses. I do. He continues. A string of necromancy becomes that when it intersects with negative energy. Thus it begins to look like flesh. To me, for example. I've surely as many strings going through my existence as you do, except mine are necromantic. Yours are... Skull shakes his head, shakes a bit. Many others. How do you deal with strings usually? When I attune with strings, I twist them. Ah, so that's how you cast your organized spells then. Necromancy is special because of that negative energy. Twisting a necromantic string would hurt naturally if you're anything but not alive. A living necromancer learns to either manage the pain through mutilation, religious fervor, political numbness, or they learn to cut the string. Cut? Everyone uses different terminology. You might have heard it called willing the string or mastering it. It's a step every spellcaster must go to reach the higher tier magic. They must simply learn to manipulate the string's shape. The shape of the string? Yes. But it doesn't have a shape, it's just a dot. The skull laughs mockingly. Why do you think they call it a string then, dumbass? It measures change over time. You might have grabbed and twisted your strings in the moment, but cutting a string means grabbing it independently from all its other parts in the past and in the future. Don't just twist it, separate it from itself. Of course, the talk about mastering strings all makes sense now. The string goes through time. Manipulating it more closely requires being twisted only in the now, without the other baggage. Take out my hand. Yes? Locate a string near Bonneval, a pale string. Yes? Twist it. Ah, shit. Open our eyes. That hurts. What? You twisted the string into cure wounds, you idiot. Hurt like a, what do you say, motherfucker. I failed? Skull laughs intensely. You did great, Cleric, or should I say, necromancer. That was a cure wounds, for sure, but necromantic cure wounds. Instead of a cure wounds cast through sissy abjuration or hardcore flesh melding transmutation, you now manage to simply remove the negative energy to reach the same conclusion. Healing. Although yes, it did hurt like all hells, since negative energy obviously is kind of my thing here, as a glorious lich. Oh, so I mastered necromancy? An overstatement perhaps, but you should be able to cast the one spell you're looking for at least. Speak with dead. That's what I'm talking about. That's great. It would be extremely useful for the case, obviously. The skull nods. You want a spell scroll? That'd be useful, yes. The skull widens its jaw, then it coughs up a tiny spell scroll into the altar. Grab it. Did you just instantly memorize the scroll after it flew out of the skull's mouth? Degenerate. You've earned it, my evil apprentice. Glorious, another tier of magic unlocked. Even if it's just a 3rd level spell, this will surely lead to greater things in the future. If you have any other questions, go ahead. Speak with Dead, that's 5 questions, right? Yes, indeed. Plus, the spell does not allow the spirit to learn anything new, just literally animates the simile of the creature. It's an extraction tool, not a way to learn information. So, if a person being targeted would speak with Dead and then resurrects, is that person... that person will not remember the questions or answers it gives? Not one bit. Except, of course, yes? There have been recorded instances of it happening. Rare, very rare. But only for creatures entangled so heavily in the strings of Jor that the spirit itself grows tendrils, so to speak. The spirit lives entirely within the strings, and it theoretically could listen in on the Speak with Dead conversation. That's entirely based on conjecture, along with some instances I've encountered during my necromantic studies. Nothing to base a worldview on, wouldn't you say? Interesting. Indeed. Good job on this. I can see you have extreme talent for handling strings beyond what I've seen in many youngsters. I would love to watch you burn out a battlefield among hags and legionaries. This skull lets out a crazed laughter while spinning around in the air. Anything else you want? Could you help me enter the Pillar of Jor? Nah. Interplanar travel is overrated. Go ask Viskin, that bastard keeps poking around at Jor's relics. He's into that shit. I'm gonna go now. Goodbye, Bondeville. Oh. Also, you can't behold him any further, but we have Speak with Dead. It's huge. It's finally here. That's incredible. Also, we have now finished the Bondeville one, which is nice. That clears that off of our list. Okay. Well, obviously, you know the next place we have to go, right? There's no question. There's only one place to go next. It's straight to the body. I don't care that it's after midnight. We gotta go. And actually, specifically, it's good to do this now, because if we were to do it later, if we were to do it tomorrow, we would only get 1 chance plus the shards of Jor. But if we do it today, then we can re-roll anything we need to re-roll. Although, oh, wait a second. If we only get 5 questions, there's probably nothing to re-roll. Also, need to heal a little bit. There we go. Let's do this. Prepare spells. I kind of wish it didn't wipe your spells each time. It's a little annoying. That's okay. I need those. Knock, I think I still want for now. Speak with animals is probably the other one. Yeah, give me speak with animals. Cool. Right. Let's go. Hey Viskin, what's up? Right. And we are going to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. Next time, we speak with them. And then, I don't know, I guess we try the warehouse maybe? It kind of makes sense to try the warehouse at night. Oh, it really depends what the time is. I guess on the next day we have nothing, right? The next day is speak to the Sphinx and then get into the Pillar of Jor. So, like, that's kind of the end. So, yeah, I guess we can continue this night. We got until, what, 4? Is it? I can't remember. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.